Welcome back, sacred soul. If these words have found you today, on or around May 15th, 2025, trust that it is not by accident. The universe has brought you here for a reason. Something ancient is stirring beneath the surface of your awareness. And though the world may look the same, something within you knows an invisible threshold has just been crossed. The Capricorn Moon is rising, and this is not just another lunar phase. This is a spiritual pressure point, a moment of reckoning, a time when your emotional landscape begins to shift, not gently, but with weight, with purpose. And if you've been feeling unusually tense, deeply reflective, or caught between the urge to control and the need to let go, you are not alone. This message is not here to predict. It is here to prepare, because the energy entering your life now will ask you to pause, to notice, to stop doing what no longer aligns, even if it's something you've always done. In today's transmission, I'll guide you through the 5 critical mistakes to avoid during this Capricorn Moon portal, so that instead of resisting the shift, you can walk through it consciously and rise on the other side with clarity, strength, and grace. So take a deep breath, settle into your body, because what you're about to hear may just change how you move through this next chapter. Let's begin. This is not just another full moon, and I don't say that lightly. As the moon enters Capricorn on this day, May 15th, something profound is shifting beneath the veil of your everyday life. You might not be able to name it just yet, but if you've felt a strange sense of pressure in your chest, a weight in your bones, or an urgency in your spirit that doesn't quite make sense, know this: your soul already recognizes the turning point, because this particular lunation isn't here to reflect who you were, it's here to activate who you are becoming. The next 60 hours will feel different. Heavier, perhaps, slower, sharper. Time may bend, emotions may harden. You might find yourself pausing mid-sentence, wondering why your heart suddenly feels so serious, so inward. That's not a mistake. It's the gravitational pull of Capricorn, the archetype of discipline, maturity, legacy. And when the moon passes through this sacred gate, it presses on the parts of you that are still holding on to outdated structures, outdated identities, outdated definitions of what success or security means. I need you to hear this. This is not a breakdown. It's a refinement, a recalibration of your emotional foundation. The parts of you that are being tested right now, they're the parts the universe is gently, or not so gently, asking you to evolve. You cannot carry the old version of yourself into the next chapter you're being called into. And this moment, this moon, is the quiet invitation to lay it down. So if it feels like everything is demanding your attention, if the noise of the world feels louder while your inner voice feels softer, lean into that silence. There is wisdom in what's being stripped away. There is guidance in what no longer feels aligned. And most of all, there is power in choosing stillness over control. The path ahead may not be clear just yet, but what I can promise you is this: clarity is coming. If you allow yourself to sit with this pressure, not run from it, not numb it, but truly sit with it, what emerges from the other side will be a version of you that no longer has to pretend to be strong. You'll simply be strong, rooted, clear, true. And that is where we begin. Don't try to control everything right now. I know how tempting it is, especially under this Capricorn moon, to tighten your grip, to micromanage every detail, to create backup plans for your backup plans, just to feel a little safer. You might find yourself double-checking things that once felt easy, obsessing over schedules, or feeling overwhelmed when even the smallest part of your day doesn't unfold as expected. And if you're being honest with yourself, there's a quiet panic beneath the surface, as if something inside believes that if you're not holding it all together, everything might fall apart. But here's the truth I need you to hear, and I say this with so much love. Control is not the same as safety. Control is not trust. And under the light of this Capricorn moon, your soul is not asking for more structure. It's asking for surrender. You see, Capricorn energy awakens your desire for order, discipline, and mastery. But when the moon touches this frequency, it doesn't just impact the outside world. It touches your emotional core. It rewires how you respond to uncertainty. And for many, that triggers a deep, unconscious need to cling tightly to people, to timelines, to outcomes that feel predictable, even if they're no longer aligned. But the paradox is this: the tighter you grip, the faster things begin to slip through your fingers. Why? Because you're not meant to control what's unfolding. You're meant to align with it. This moon is not punishing you. It's teaching you how to release the illusion of control so you can remember the deeper truth. You are safe, even when things are uncertain. You are supported, even when the path curves unexpectedly, and your worth has never depended on how perfectly you hold it all together. So if you find yourself feeling tense this week, if your body is stiff, your mind restless, your energy stretched thin, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I let go just a little? And then let that question unravel you, because what's waiting on the other side of that unraveling is freedom. You were not born to carry the weight of the world alone. You were born to dance with it, to trust its rhythm, to surrender to the timing that lives far beyond your calendar or your clock. This moment isn't asking you to fix or force. It's asking you to soften, and I promise you, when you do, life will show you how supported you truly are. Let me speak to the quiet war you've been fighting inside your own mind. Under this Capricorn moon, it's not just your schedule that feels heavy, it's your self-talk. That inner voice, the one that used to whisper doubts in the background, may have grown louder lately, sharper, less forgiving. You may catch yourself replaying old mistakes, criticizing your reflection, feeling like you're always a few steps behind, no matter how much you do. And what breaks my heart is how easily this voice disguises itself as motivation. But, my love, that is not motivation. That is the shadow of Capricorn, and it's been sitting quietly inside you, tightening its grip without you even noticing. This shadow says you're not enough. You need to try harder, be more, prove your worth. And the more you believe it, the more you push. You overextend, you skip rest, chase perfection, strive to earn a sense of value that was never meant to be earned in the first place, only remembered. That inner critic is not your truth. It's an echo of old wounds passed down through generations, built-in systems that taught us love must be earned through effort, and that stillness means late. But I'm here to remind you of something softer, something sacred. You were never meant to spend your life in performance mode. You were not born to chase worth. You are worthy simply by being. You do not need to exhaust yourself to prove your goodness, your usefulness, your success. And if your body has been aching, if your sleep feels thin, if your heart feels too tired to keep pace, listen, that's not failure, that's wisdom. Your body is trying to tell you what your mind keeps overriding, that this rhythm is not sustainable, that your worth cannot be found at the bottom of another to-do list. So the next time you feel yourself spiraling into self-judgment, pause, place your hand over your heart, and ask, would I ever speak to someone I love this way? If the answer is no, then it's time to love yourself enough to soften. Replace punishment with presence. Replace perfection with permission. Permission to rest. Permission to be human. Permission to exist in grace, even when you feel messy or unfinished. This moon may magnify your desire to work harder, climb higher, prove something. But the truth is, the most radical thing you can do right now is to stop, to reclaim your energy, to step out of the cycle of proving and into the sanctuary of simply being. Because your soul didn't come here to be productive, it came here to be whole. And that begins not with another hour of work, but with one moment of compassion toward the beautiful, weary, deserving being that you are. And now, I want to speak to the distance that may be growing between you and the people you love. You may have noticed it, a subtle coolness in your heart, a sudden hesitation to reach out, to open up, to say what you're really feeling. Maybe you sat across from someone recently, someone who once felt like home, and for a reason you couldn't name, it felt like a wall had quietly risen between you. You weren't angry, you weren't closed, and yet you weren't fully there either. That's not coldness, that's Capricorn's armor. When the moon moves through this sign, it tends to harden the emotional waters, not to hurt you, but to protect you, to reinforce the boundaries of your heart. But sometimes, those boundaries become barriers, and if you're not mindful, you might begin mistaking safety for separation. I want you to remember this. You can protect your peace without silencing your tenderness. You can have strong boundaries and still keep a soft heart. Just because vulnerability feels harder right now doesn't mean it's wrong. It means it's sacred, and sacred things are often wrapped in silence. So if your instinct is to withdraw, I invite you to check in gently. Is this solitude? Or is it self-protection in disguise? Because you don't need to retreat from love to feel safe. You just need to be seen, fully, gently, truthfully. And while this emotional terrain is shifting, another layer of energy is also stirring, one that may tempt you to make quick, bold decisions, especially around money, security, or your future. Please, don't. The recent eclipse still echoes in the atmosphere. Its shadow hasn't fully cleared, and its influence on your perception, especially regarding value, power, and long-term planning, is still active. You might feel sudden urges to invest, to quit, to restructure your finances, or commit to something radical. But the truth is, you're not seeing the whole picture yet. The Capricorn Moon brings a strong desire for control, stability, and forward momentum. It whispers, make the plan, take the leap, secure the future now. But this urgency, it's not clarity, it's reaction. It's the illusion that by acting quickly, you can calm the discomfort inside. But financial intuition requires stillness. And right now, the soil is still shifting beneath your feet. I'm not saying, don't dream. I'm saying, wait to act. Let the emotional fog clear. Let your heart settle. Let your soul speak louder than your fear. Because what you think you want today may not be aligned with what your future self will thank you for. In this space of transition, do not rush to lock doors or sign contracts. Let your energy speak first, then let your decisions follow. Trust that the right path will not disappear while you're waiting. If it's truly yours, it will wait for you to be ready. Parents and beloved, that readiness begins in stillness, not in urgency. So breathe, let your emotions soften, let your instincts slow, because everything that matters, your connections, your abundance, your next step, is not being threatened. It's simply being refined. Now let me speak to what your body may already be trying to tell you. Some of you have been feeling it, a strange heaviness in your legs, a pressure in your joints, an ache that seems to settle especially around the knees. That's not random. Capricorn is the keeper of structure, of bones, of the physical frame that carries you through this world. And when the moon passes through this sign, your body becomes the first to receive the message that something old is being released and something new must be built in its place. If your knees feel tight, your back stiff, your skin more sensitive than usual, it's not just aging, it's energetic weight, stored in the places where you've held up too much for too long. The places that have supported others even when no one was there to support you. The Capricorn Moon asks, can you still carry this? And more importantly, should you? And it doesn't stop at the physical. So many of you have told me you're exhausted lately. but not the kind of tired that sleep can solve. It's the kind of weariness that lives in the bones, the kind where you lie down and still feel like your soul is pacing. That's because this moon is stirring more than your surface life. It's agitating what's buried, the unresolved emotions, the responsibilities you never questioned, the silent griefs you've packed away, telling yourself you deal with them another time. And now, it is that time. If your dreams have become more vivid, more literal, like messages dressed in symbols so obvious they feel almost surreal. That's no coincidence either. The Capricorn Moon does not speak in riddles. It speaks in direction. You may find yourself dreaming of long staircases, of maps, of old classrooms or forgotten promises. These aren't just memories. They are your spirit's way of strategizing your next steps. They are spiritual blueprints asking to be followed. And for many, the past has returned, not to punish you, but to liberate you. You may feel waves of nostalgia or sudden sorrow for a version of yourself you once abandoned. You may remember something or someone you thought was long buried. But don't resist it, because when the Capricorn Moon calls the past back into view, it is doing so to complete the lesson, not to reopen the wound, but to finally let it close with dignity. You are not being haunted, you are being healed. So if your body aches, if your heart feels full and yet strangely hollow, if your dreams seem louder than your waking life, listen. All of it is trying to bring you back into alignment. This isn't just fatigue, it's a message. You've outgrown something, and your soul is making space for what comes next. And so, beloved soul, if you've made it here, still listening, still feeling, then you already know this moment isn't about fear. It's about recognition. Recognition that something within you is shifting in response to something far greater above you. The Capricorn Moon didn't come to break you. It came to refine you, to help you see what's no longer sustainable, what's no longer aligned, and what no longer deserves to be carried on your sacred path forward. I know this energy can feel heavy. I know it can stir the ache of loneliness, the sting of not enoughness, the old echoes of things you thought you'd healed. But I also know this. Within this pressure lies profound possibility. Pressure shapes diamonds, and this moment, though it may feel uncomfortable, is molding you into something clearer, stronger, more rooted in your truth than ever before. So let this be your invitation to soften, not harden, to rest, not prove, to feel, not retreat, and most of all, to trust that you don't have to navigate this shift alone. The universe is walking with you, and so am I. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and come back to this message whenever you need to remember. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to grow gently. Until next time, keep your heart open, your spirit grounded, and your truth sacred.